Hello YouTube, how are you doing? In my last tutorial, we talked about setting up Hadoop cluster in Linux environment. So I was thinking let's do the same thing in Windows. Okay, so we have Windows 10 set up, and we want to create or install Hadoop, Hadoop file system in Windows. Okay, so if you're doing it for the first time, trust me, you're gonna face a lot of problems in Windows, because the steps in Windows are quite different from setting up in Linux, because there are several libraries or there are several files which are not compatible with Windows, and you need to set it up on your own. So I trust me, if you are doing it for the first time, it will be very difficult for you, and in this tutorial I will cover all those problems you're gonna face in setting up Windows cluster, Hadoop cluster, single node cluster in Windows. Okay, so in this tutorial I will create a single node cluster, and maybe in next tutorial we will create a multi-node. Okay, yeah. So of course, the first step will be you will have to download the targas file, that is a similar file that you use in Linux. Okay, so just download the Apache Hadoop release. Okay, so that is quite similar to Linux, so you just download any version, any latest version, or for this for this tutorial I'm going to use 2.7.7. okay, which is a very stable release. Okay, so just go and download this file. Okay, and download tar.gz. okay, so once you download this, okay, what you have to do is you have to extract it. So I already have this file with me, so let me just check. Yeah, this is the file I have downloaded. Okay, so just once you have downloaded this, what you have to do is you have to extract it. So you can do it using WinRAR or anything. Okay, so this is the this is the file you have to extract. So just go right click and extract files. Okay, so once you extract files, it will so I've just extracted it here. Let me just check. So once you have extracted this, you will get this folder. Okay, so this is the folder you will get. Yeah, so this folder, just ignore these files for now. I'll just just ignore these files. So this is the folder will be created. You have to go inside that, and once you have extracted, you will get file structure like this. Okay, so these are all the configuration files. The configuration files will lie inside etc Hadoop. Okay, and then the other files like binary files, which is used to run the Hadoop and HDFS commands, and will be there in the bin folder, and again as bin will be there for starting, stopping, and maintaining the cluster. Okay, so this is the similar thing which is we have seen earlier. So now let's just go ahead and start setting up the cluster. Okay, so first of all you have to edit the environment variables. Okay, yeah, so just go to etc and Hadoop, and here you have to edit 4 files. First file is this one, core site.xml, and then second file is this one, then there is a third file, this one, and then you have to edit map reduce site.xml, and then you have to edit map reduce yarn site.xml. let me just check. Yeah, this one, yarn site.xml, and then slaves you don't need to edit, it is by default having a single node. Okay, so these are the files that we have to work upon. Okay, so we'll go one by one and we'll do it. Yeah, so just right click on this and open with, if you have XML editor, you can open it with that, or just open it with a WordPad. Okay, yeah, so here you can see in my configuration folder, in my configuration you have to put these many properties. Okay, this is the only property that you have to place in. in your course site.xml. So here I'm specifying the name node which will be a default, and it will be running on my local system, and it will be accessible through the port number 9000, which is a default port. Okay, so this is the only thing that I have to add here. Okay, the next file, that this file is fine. Next file that I'm gonna edit it. So I have already edited all these files, and so that we can make it easier for the tutorial purpose. And okay, let's go to next file, HDFS site.xml. Okay, so here we can again go to open it with WordPad, and here we have to add these many properties. Okay, yeah, so we'll go one by one. So this is my first property, which is showing the replication. So how many blocks we are going to create for a particular file. So if we upload one file, so how many blocks we want. So as we have only one data node, we are setting it to 1, because by default, if you don't give this property, the default replication is 3, which is not going to support. Okay, because we have only one data node, so we are setting it to 1. Next property is, okay, this is not required unless if you are facing any issue while communicating with a name node and data node. So this is just a similar property which is there in core site. Okay, next is this property, which is setting the name node. So I'm setting the name node in this folder. Okay, so in this is a difference in Windows and Linux. So you have to specify the file path as a URI. So file : / and then Hadoop, and then you have to specify an N. So this is a folder which is pointing to C folder. Okay, your root folder. Okay, you can specify any path, but you have to prefix it with these. Okay, yeah. Next, I am setting up my data node, which is a single data node. So this is my second property. Here I am specifying similar value with a DN, which is data node. Next, I'm setting up the permissions to false. So this is again very important, because if you don't give this, again you will face some error and issues. So make sure you to give DFS the permissions to false. Okay, so this is all the attributes for HDFS site.xml. Next property we are going to edit is okay, next is yarn site.xml. Okay, so just open it with Notepad, and here we are going to set some properties, which is yarn.resource manager, which we are setting where the host name or resource manager will run, and it will be run on the local host and with the address of 8032 port. Okay, next we are going to set the map reduce site.xml. So here I'm just setting my framework. Okay, my framework map reduce framework to yarn. So this is the only property that I have to define here, right? So that's all in these 5 editings. Next is slaves. So slaves, if you open, it will be having by default the one node which is a local host. Okay, so you don't need to do anything here, just you can simply close it. Next, and which is very important file that we have to edit is a Hadoop env.cmd, which is a Windows command file. Okay, so here you have to focus on mainly the first attribute, which is Java home. Okay, so Java home, if you haven't installed Java, you have to install it, because Hadoop framework is built upon Java. Okay, so you have to set this path. Okay, so just make sure you have Java installed in your system. So just run Java and then version. Let me just check. So we have Java. Okay, so and also Java path, we'll check that. Okay, so Java path is so Java path is set. So you just download the JDK. Okay, so you can go and download JDK, download. Okay, JDK from any download JDK for Windows 10. Okay, so you can go and download it. Yeah. So here you can see you have to first accept, and then you have to check the Windows 64, which is this one, and then okay, so you can download this file. Yeah, so this is a file you have to download. So once you have downloaded, you have to install it. I think I'm not going to show you how to install JDK because this is very simple. So once you have downloaded and installed JDK, okay, while setting the path, make sure you give it a path as C folder. Make it like this, C Java JDK, because I have installed my Java in this folder. And why? Because why I'm doing this is because it's the path of Java is very relevant here. Because if you don't specify the path properly, you are going to get error like Java path not correctly set. So make sure you don't install in your program files folder or anywhere which is having a space in the file in the path name. Better make it simple. Make it, install it in C Java. So always choose the installation path as C Java. Okay, and then this is my folder where I've installed Java. Okay, so as you can see, it is pointing to this location. Okay, fine. So this is the installation of Java. Okay, so next is so I'm gonna add this step in my in my steps. So download Java JDK and install it in a simple path without spaces in path name, because it's very important. If you don't give the path properly, you're gonna get error. Okay, like example, like C Java, something like that, JDK. Okay, so this is how you should install in this path only. Fine. So we have Java enabled. Okay, next very important thing that you have to do is you have to edit the environment variable, which is very important. So what you have to do is in Windows 10, you just search with environment. Okay, so once you click on this, you will have variables for your current user and the system variables. Okay, so here you have to add some variables. So first is Java home. Okay, so you just click on new and place these two attributes, which is the first one is a variable name and the value. So value, you make sure you choose a path without a space. Okay, you can browse the directory also. So what you can do is you can go to browse directory, click on PC and go to C folder Java, and here I have installed my Java. Okay, so this is the one you have to choose. Okay, and then click on OK. Fine. Then next is you have to add Hadoop home folder. Okay, this is the next thing you have to add. Okay, just click on new and you can add this. This is my folder where my Hadoop is installed. Okay, this is your Hadoop home folder. So if I go to my, so this is the Hadoop home folder. Okay, so you have to specify this as Hadoop home. Okay, you have to put this as a Hadoop home folder. Yeah, the next is you have to specify Hadoop prefix, which is this one. So again, this is going to be same as the Hadoop home folder. Next, you have to specify, these are very important. If you miss any of these variables, your HDFS will not run. Okay, so please be careful with this. And this is a configuration directory, which is Hadoop home folder followed by etc Hadoop. Okay, the next is Hadoop bin path, which is also very relevant. So you have to go Hadoop home and then /bin. So these are the 5 or 6 properties that you have to specify. Okay, next is path. Okay, so path we are going to do. Okay, so path we are going to do from here. So just run path and you can see that these many paths are already set. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to add Hadoop paths in this Hadoop bin path, which is very important. So what you do is you just do path equal to, okay, just copy it by pressing enter, select and press enter, path equal to, paste it here, and then you add your Hadoop bin path. Okay, so you go to bin and just copy this path and paste it here. So this is your Hadoop bin path is added. Okay, yeah, this is very important if for proceeding further. Okay, so now our setting path and variables is done. Okay, add prefix path is done. Okay, now the next is very important thing is that you have to download two things which are not coming and which is only relevant if you are doing it in Windows. So these are the two files you have to download. One is winutils.exe and second is Hadoop dynamic link library. These two are very important because to make the HDFS run in Windows. So you have to download this. You can download it from anywhere. Just in your Google, just type download winutils. Okay, so you will be prompted to any GitHub or anyone. So they have done a very nice thing and they have uploaded all the necessary files here. So you have to download this file and you have to download this file. Okay, winutils.exe. Just click on it and click download. Okay, so once you download this, you have to remember it, you have to place it in this folder. Okay, winutils.exe and Hadoop DLL, these two files must be present if you are doing it in Windows. Okay, fine. So let's just go ahead and yeah, so our setup is done and we have almost set it up everything. Yeah, so these two folders, these two files are important. Next is that you have to do one more thing. So what you have to do is you will get an error for file permissions. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to run okay, so you have to run winutils. So winutils path I have already set up, right? So I can run it from anywhere, which is there in this Hadoop bin folder. So winutils.exe, which is a utility, and then let me just run with ch mode. Okay, so it is asking me to give the path. So what you have to do is you have to -r777 to your data node folders. Okay, so what you do is you do Hadoop and then you can give -r, which is recursively, so you just press enter. So this will give a 777 permissions to all your data node and name node folders, which is there in this folder C. Okay, so here I am going to set up my data node and name node. So just go to data node, and if you find anything from earlier, just delete it. Okay, because we are going to create a fresh cluster. So I am just clearing my data node and name node folders. Okay, fine. So we are done with those things. Now what we are going to do is we have assigned permissions. Okay, set default permissions to false. I have noted these points because I was facing these problems and I had to work upon it for last 2-3 days. Okay, and then you have to specify the path, fine, environment variable, fine. Okay, so now we are going to start with my and set up my cluster. So what you do is you go to Hadoop home folder. Okay, so here you have to go to etc and then Hadoop, which is the configuration folder, right? Okay, yeah. So here just press dir, which will list all the files. So here you make sure you run this command Hadoop environment, because if you run this, it will set all the variables, okay, and then you will be able to access all the variables you have defined, okay. Yeah, so you make sure you run this command. Next is you have to run the okay, you have to run and you have to format. Okay, so let's just go and start with the formatting of the cluster. So to create the name node, so HDFS name node and format. Okay, so we'll just see what is happening here. So if you face any problem in the setting of the cluster in Windows, please comment and feel free to ask any questions. Okay, so it's taking some time because I'm not sure it is consuming resources. Okay, so as you can see, it is working, and we have let's just see a couple of values here. So we have set the we have set the default properties. We have set the replication to 1, which is showing here, because if you don't see here, which means your properties are not set. If it is showing as 3, means it is your properties from HDFS site or XML are not being read. So it is set to 1, which is a good thing, it means it is reading your values. The next thing is I have set it to our root folder and then name node, which is fine. So our and you should get a return code exiting with status 0, and you should get a message like this: successfully formatted. Okay, so our name node is created. Now let's just go and we should start the cluster. Okay, we go to sbin. If you want to do any start stop, you have to go to sbin. Okay, so here you have to run start dfs dot cmd. Okay, you don't need to give cmd also because it's already a command prompt. So press enter and let me see what we got. So you will have, always remember, when you run this command, you will have two command prompts will open. One is for name node and the other is for data node. Okay, and these two will hang and showing that the name node and data node are running. Okay, so if they close out or exit, that means that your data node or name node has not started. So you can see it is listening, and if you read all the messages, you will understand that this is the block pool ID or the volume scanner and all things it is trying to create. See, this is the adding replicas to this folder. See Hadoop data node. Okay, so as you can see, now my prompt is ready, and these two prompts will be up and available while the cluster is up. Okay, so our cluster is up. Let's check let's check and try to access the cluster from web interface. Okay, so just go to your browser and type localhost colon 5070, which is the default port number for HTTP. And if you're using the Hadoop version below 3, remember that if you're using the Hadoop version below 3, you have to access the port with 50070 for HTTP and 50075 for HTTPS. Okay, so yeah, okay, it's a good thing that it is opening, so you can verify using the timestamp, which is matching with my current timestamp. Okay, and let's go to summary. Your security is off, and you can see the live node, which means our one data node is up. Okay, and then these are the folders. Okay, where is our name node and data nodes are located. So this is our name node folder. Okay, fine, let's go to Okay, let's just try to access the cluster with the upload. Let's just put some file over here. Okay, while uploading the file, what you have to do is you have to do HDFS, then DFS, and put. Okay, before putting, let's just make a directory in our HDFS file system. So here you have to note it one very important thing, that you have to specify the path, the cluster path, as URI, which should be HDFS : and then you specify your host name, which is localhost : 9000, which is the port number, and then here now this is your root location. You can make a folder like this. Okay, so once you press this, because see, remember, if you don't specify, if you specify any folder like /sample, it will create a folder in your C folder. Okay, it will create a folder in your root drive, in your local system. It will not create a folder in HDFS. Okay, so you have to make sure that you give the path of your HDFS with this like a URI like this. Okay, and the host name. Okay, let's just try to access this folder. Okay, yeah, we'll just remove this, and in place of make directory, let's just try to ls. Okay, and we can see there are nothing, only. Okay, so you can see sample folder is created. Let's just try to upload sample any file. Okay, dfs minus put, and we'll just put any file, like okay, any file, I'm just putting any file. Let's say it's command file. Okay, yeah, into our root folder, sample directory. Okay, yeah, so let me just see, and you should be able to upload the file. And okay, so maybe it will take some time, not sure. I'll just pause the video because it's taking a lot of time. Okay, so you can see it is done, and let's just verify the same using the ls command. So we'll do ls minus capital R, which will do recursive. Okay, so as you can see, yeah, this file has been copied to your root folder. The same will verify on web browser. So just go to your utilities and click on browse the file system, and here just press root and go. So you can see the sample folder is already showing, and just click on the sample, and you can see our file is uploaded successfully. Just if you click on this file, you'll be able to find the block ID, the block pool ID. So okay, so we'll see more information about uploading and how the blocks are replicated and all this information. So you can see here in your data node section, you can see this is the block pool ID which is assigned here, which will match with your block pool ID which is here. Okay, so this is all in this tutorial, and in my next tutorial we will learn how to upload and download, and how the blocks are replicated, and how we'll check the health of the HDFS and everything in my next tutorial. So if you actually like this tutorial and it really helped you, please give a thumbs up, and it will help me and encourage me to post more videos. Thanks for watching.